Very well. So continuing here, we are going to add this section here. So to do that, we have our row where we're ending our row right about here. So I'm gonna, actually we should put a comma because remember we're still inside of a widget array or list there. And here I'm gonna say slider. Okay, the slider, I'm gonna put all of that actually inside of a column because remember, I'm gonna have two widgets inside here. We have this widget here and this other one. Now, we could have added all this in a row, which means this slider would be to the left and this text widget will be to the right. Doesn't matter, but I like this much better. All right, so for our column here, I'm just gonna go straight to children and I'm gonna pass a text that we need to pass in here. And this text will have the percentage. Now, the percentage in this text here will be the one that we'll be using to show the percentage, okay? So I'm gonna go straight away and invoke the percentage like this, the percentage variable we created earlier. And let's append percentage like that. Okay, in fact, let's put it a little bit closer. And you can see there is the percentage, okay? Doesn't look great, but we can fix that. Let's say style, text style as such. See the color, it's going to be purple. Font size, 17. The weight, going to be font weight. And voila, looks really good. Very good. So now we're going to add our slider. It's our column, of course. And at the bottom here, I'm going to say children, actually. Let's see, widgets. Right there, I'm going to just put a slider, just say slider like such. And there's different kind of sliders. We're just going to use the main one there. So for a slider, we need to pass a value. Now, what is this value thing? The value is going to be what is it that we are going to be adding to this slider, or what is that's going to be controlling the slider. In this case, it's going to be our variable, which is the tip percentage. Okay, now this value here requires us to have a double. So here I'm going to say dot to double as such to convert it. And on change, just like we saw in a text field, this is where we're going to pass the new value. So in this case here, I'm going to pass a function with a double called value. Okay, and we're going to do a few things in this function. So I'm going to just put this in a new line like this, so that way it's better. Very good. So what are we going to do here? Well, the first thing we're going to do also is set the state. So set state as such. What variable I'm going to set the state for? Well, it's going to be the tip percentage because we want to use the tip percentage and change it accordingly as this new value is being changed, right? In this case here, I'm going to say is equal to value dot round like this. Okay, so we're going to round that value. Now, I could name whatever I want here. I could say, for instance, new value. Maybe perhaps this is better. Like this. Doesn't matter really, just naming. That is what's going to happen here. So we set the state, we take the percentage variable, okay, and we're going to give it this new value. So as we slide, we should see this value also changing. That is the idea. Let's see if that works. I'm going to save this. There we go. Notice we have issues here. So it only allows us to change all the way to 1%. Why is that? The reason why is because a slider also takes a few other parameters or properties that are going to help set everything up for it. The first one is the minimum value that it needs, right? What is the minimum value of the entire slider? Well, we're going to say 0. You guessed it, max value. In this case, we just want 100. To signify 100%. If you save this, and you notice now we're going to have a better luck. So now we can actually start sliding all the way, and you can see it is indeed changing. So at the end, you notice it's 100% because that is the maximum, 0 is the minimum. Very good. So our slider is working. Now let's change the style of our slider. We can do that, right? So to make it look like this, inside of our slider here, I can say active color. So when everything is active, I want the color purple. And when things are inactive, for that matter, I could change this to say colors.gray. Okay, that's fine. That works. Save this. Notice now it is indeed much better and change the color of our brand. Now, the other thing you notice here is that we have these divisions, as you can see here, right? It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger. All right, you can see we have these divisions there. Now we can set that up as well. So if we go back to our code here, in our slider, there is property called divisions. So we can actually pass an int value, so how many divisions we want within min and max. So let's say I want to put 5. If you save that, you notice something cool will happen. Now we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I slide, it goes straight. Let's try it again. Goes to 40, and 60, and 80. So now this is a little bit limiting because that just means you can only give a 20, a 40, a 6, and so forth, because everything is delimited by 5. Is that correct? Yes. So there we go. If you want to give it a little bit more flexibility, obviously, you can keep adding more. Let's say I'm going to add 10 like that. And now we have a little bit more leeway. So now we just go from 5 to 10 to 20, and it's much more. And of course, the bigger this number, the more divisions you will have. So you can play around with this. It's optional. I'm going to put this optional. You can not have that, whatever you want, okay? If you want a more flexible number, so you just go like this, it goes back to, and you can get even 1% like that, or 2 or 3, okay? So it depends on what you want. In this case here, I'm just going to leave it at a 10 as such. Very good. So everything is looking pretty good. All of the buttons that we added, they're not working all together at this point. As you can see here, we still have a few things to do. Let's go ahead and tackle this total per person to make it look more like this, okay? Here we're going to add this style, a text style. Say font weight, I'm going to make it bold. And let's say font size for the total person, I'm going to say 15. The color, I'm going to say purple. Very good. Nice, looking really nice. Now let's work on our number here. So here I'm going to say style. Again, text style. Font size, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I want that to be the focus. Font weight and color, purple as well. And voila, looks really, really nice, just like this. But notice we need to add some sort of spacing. That way it's not all close together. And this one here, I shouldn't have bold. Let's change that. Instead of having a bold, I can just say normal. Looks much better. Let's give that padding around. I will just go ahead and add padding this way. 8, let's give it 12. Very nice. Now it looks much, much better. Now remember, this is zoomed in. It's an image, so it's not going to be exactly the same, but you see, they're pretty much identical. Very good. So at this point here, our app is looking really good. And of course, the calculation is not working yet, but that's the easy part. In the next video, we are going to finalize our app and make it actually work. So as we slide here and we have a number and we can split the bill and we're going to see things actually working.